Uh, Hi. Now here in this video we'll try to mention impact of shift in supply curve. We'll explain what is the impact of shift in the supply curve, if supply curve shifts to the right or if supply curve shifts to the left. So we'll explain with the help of diagram. So initial point is 0 always. X-axis will represent quantity and y-axis will represent price in dollar. So initial demand curve, let's draw initial demand curve. In last video I told you there should not be any mistake when you draw demand curve and supply curve. There are the student what they do, it's a silly mistake. What they do, they'll write demand curve like this, they'll draw, and instead of writing DD they'll write SS. And here instead of writing this SS they'll write DD. Generally they do not do, but sometime what happen in hurry they'll write like this. So to understand, to eradicate this mistake, what you have to do, remember, take your right hand. In last video also you can see this right hand is always demand curve. What we have written here, supply curve, right? So the right hand is always demand curve, so let's erase this and write demand curve. And the left hand is always supply curve, so erase this and write supply curve. So write demand and left supply curve. Fine. And this particular point we have equilibrium point. We got a quantity, equilibrium quantity or initial quantity, and we got initial price P. We'll give some values, say example 10, and here also 10. Okay, so this is the initial situation without any shift. There is no shift now, this initial situation. So we'll mention here initial situation. We have a initial situation. Okay, initial situation we have here SS is supply curve. Okay, and DD is demand curve. We have E is the equilibrium point, and 0Q, that is the 10. We have quantity, demanded and supply together. 0P is the price. So this is the situation we have initially, okay, without any impact or without any shift. Now maybe now we are talking about the supply curve, shift in supply curve. This is the supply. If due to maybe any cause, say a producer has wanted to produce more. If a producer wanted to produce more, supply curve shift to the right. Right means towards this. And if the producer they'll supply less, supply curve shift to the left. Now in which situation suppliers they supply more or suppliers they supply less. So number one situation, generally what happen in case of subsidy, if the government gives subsidy to the producers, okay, in that case they'll supply more and supply curve shift to the right. And in case of taxes, like more taxes increase, so in that situation suppliers or the producer or the firm they'll supply less and supply curve shift to the left. So we'll take a new situation here, situation 1. Situation 1. So under situation 1, say subsidy, government has given subsidy. So in this case what will happen, supply curve will shift to the right towards this side. So we will shift the supply curve towards the right. We have S1 and S1. Due to subsidy, supply curve shifted to the right. Fine. And we got a new equilibrium point E, and we got new equilibrium quantity demanded and supply is Q1, say it is 12. Okay, and the new price is P1, say 8. So price has decreased. You can see here as soon as supply shifted to the right, what is the immediate impact? Price has decreased from P to P1, that is 10 to 8. So in case of subsidy, what happened? We have a new supply curve, S1 shifted to right, and new equilibrium point we have E1 is the equilibrium point. And what is the impact here? Quantity, demand and supply usage. So 0 Q1, that is 12, is quantity. And what is the impact on the price? 0 P1, that is 8, is the price, new price. So price has decreased here. Clear? The immediate impact is on the price. If supply shift to the right, price will decrease. Okay. Now we'll be having the situation 2. Situation 2. In case of tax. If government impose high tax, in this case what the supplier or the firm or the producer they do, they supply less and supply curve shift to the left, towards left. Now we'll draw left. This is S1 and S1. Supply shifted to left. We got a new equilibrium point E, and new equilibrium quantity demanded and supply we have Q2. Quantity has decreased to say 8. And what is the impact on price? The price has increased to P2, say 12. So say here in situation 2, in case of tax, supply curve shifted to the left, and we have here S2 and S2. So S2 is shifted to left, and new equilibrium is E2. E2 is equilibrium point, equilibrium quantity in the situation 2 after tax. 0 Q2, that is 8. And what is the impact on price? When supply decreases, price has increased from P to P2. So 0 P2, that is the 12. So price has increased. Here in situation 1, this was the situation 1 and situation 2. In situation 1, you can see here price has decreased. Okay. So remember, this is very, very important, this particular last point. When supply shift to the right, price will decrease, and when supply shift to the left, E2, see the price has increased. So this is the quite impact on impact of supply curve on price. Fine. So here the situation 1 and situation 2 you can go through. That will give you a brief idea that what is the impact of shift in supply curves towards right and towards left. Fine. So finally we have done shift in supply curve also. Okay.